This video is pretty out of the ordinary, but I've been wanting to make it for so long. I got a microphone, I got a little outfit. We're gonna have some outfit changes in this video, and I got these pictures. So we're gonna be recapping an old web series I used to watch as a kid, LPS Popular. Now, if you don't know, LPS Popular was a web series created by Sophie GTV on YouTube, and each episode has over 1 million views. So, over 1 million children have seen this series. And it holds a very dear place to my heart. As a kid, not only did I love YouTube, I loved Littlest Pet Shops. This might be kind of embarrassing to admit, but I still have some. Anyways, we're gonna just recap the series. I don't really have a pointer. I have this. Don't ask. We're gonna name him Weenie, and he's gonna help us guide through this. So yeah, let's get started. Before we start, I made myself a little mixed drink. It's just a vodka soda. The ice low-key melted already, so if you're able to legally drink with me. Refreshing. Now, actually, before we start, I will give a content warning. If you're sensitive to anything you see on screen, it's best to click away. A lot of it does get included with the plot, and so again, if you're sensitive to anything, like, no shame, just click away. Alright, let's get started! So we start the series with our character Savannah Reed, and Savannah Reed is talking to her mom and her dad, which I didn't print a picture of because her dad's like barely in the series. Basically, her dad announces that he got a new job in California, specifically the OC. I'm from the OC, guys. I feel represented right now. And so they're moving out of Montana all the way to the OC. And Savannah's not only excited because she gets to go to a public school for the first time, she's like in her junior year of high school, but she's going to be seeing her old best friend, Brooklyn Hayes. Now, her mom mentions, you guys haven't talked in years. She's moved a long time ago. How do you know she'll remember you? Savannah reassures her that they're just BFFLs.
Best friends for life.
Sorry, saying that makes me need another drink. Anyway, so then they move to California, and she goes to Orange County Day, OCD, which is also the same school that Brooklyn Hayes goes to. So her mom drops her off, and she's already having a hard time, homeschool girl going to a high school for her first time. And so then Savannah bumps into Angelina. Angelina basically sees her, introduces herself to her, being like, hey, your locker's near me and my friend, so let me go introduce you since it looks like you're new. Angelina introduces Savannah to Genevieve. Now they go by their nicknames, so this is Lena and this is Jenny. Lena and Jenny are basically getting to know Savannah. They're like, oh my gosh, you've never been to a real school before, whatever. So then comes in the Barbie dolls. We got Alicia, Rachel, and then we got Brooklyn Hayes. She's hot now. Savannah's like, oh my gosh, Brookie, I missed you, what? And she's telling Lena and Jenny, oh my gosh, she's my best friend. And Lena and Jenny are like, what? She's the meanest, most popular girl in school, which I can't speak for everyone's high school experience, but I had popular kids in my high school, and yeah, some of them were mean, but a lot of them were known to be friendly, and that's why they were popular. So I don't get this trope of the mean girl being popular, because at my high school it just wasn't really a thing. But it's you guys are lying, Brookie is not mean. And so then she's already on their bad side. Savannah has ops already, and so then Savannah goes up to Brooke and is like, oh my gosh, it's been so long, let's talk. And then Brooklyn pulls her aside and basically is like, don't talk to me, don't associate with me. I built myself from the bottom up. I am now the most popular girl in school. You are not going to ruin that up. So don't f this up and move on. The rest of the high school day is just awful for Savannah. She's learning all the rules. She's getting lost. She just lost 2 people that she was going to be friends with. So she comes home, rips apart all the pictures and posters she has of Brooklyn, which kind of indicates that they were a little bit more than friends. I don't know. That's just my theory. Savannah's mom talks to her and kind of helps her out with the whole change and stuff with a good talk, which Savannah's mom is probably the best mom in this whole series, because she just she understands what Savannah's going through, and she talks to her like an adult rather than a child, you know what I'm saying? So then Savannah goes back to school. She apologizes to Jenny and Lena, and Jenny and Lena kind of mention, yeah, we were kind of jealous, we thought you were friends with her. But then a few days go by, and Savannah's she's not really feeling herself. Even though she has friends, she's comparing herself to Brooklyn. She notices Brooklyn's hot, she's skinny, she has a really hot boyfriend, Sage, which don't get me started with Sage. but you know, she's getting jealous of her. And we're also noticing that Savannah's starting to skip meals, and that's going to be a very huge reoccurring pattern. So then Lena and Jenny kind of knows that Savannah's been down. Also, she doesn't have the best fashion sense. Like, my outfit is basically what she would have probably worn to school. So then they say, hey, let's take you shopping. Savannah tried convincing her mom to take her to get designer clothes, and her mom kind of mentions being like, we don't have that money. And Savannah's like, well, everyone else at school has that money. And her mom's like, okay, but we don't. Like, we don't. Jenny and Lena basically tell Savannah, hey, we're going to take you shopping. It's on us. We're going to have a fun time. We're going to make you a babe. And Savannah is like, okay. So then they pick her up in the nicest car with a chauffeur, which the car is literally just a Barbie car. It's so funny. So then they take her shopping. There's a huge montage of them like trying on clothes and buying all this stuff. And then she goes to the hair salon. Originally, she wanted to go blonde because she basically wanted to copy Brooklyn, but her mom was like, no, you're not going full platinum blonde. No, maybe a nice red. And even Jenny's like, a red would be nice. And so then Savannah goes to the salon, and after she gets her fur dyed, we don't see what she looks like yet, but Jenny and Lena are like taken back. They're like, oh my god, you're beautiful. So the next day, Savannah's getting like all pampered up and then rushes straight out the door, skipping breakfast. And now her mom's starting to notice that she isn't eating breakfast. So then when she walks into school, I just have to roll the clip.
Okay, I can do this. Oh my gosh! Holy chihuahua! What? No way.
Savannah's hot now. And I also gave myself a glow up because I'm trying to match Savannah's vibe in this video because I'm Team Savannah. So then Lena and Jenny mention like, oh my gosh, everyone's staring at you. Savannah's like, I'm not used to this kind of attention. And so then Brooklyn kind of notices like she's getting this attention already. And Alicia and Rachel kind of like talk with Brooklyn, and they kind of come up with a plan to try to spread rumors about Savannah. So they go up to Savannah being like, oh my gosh, must have been an expensive surgery. So then Savannah stands up to Brooklyn. They have a little bicker, and then Brooklyn and her group walks away. Lena and Jenny come up with the idea, you could take over her. And Savannah's like, what? No, I don't want to take over anything. I feel confident, but like, you know, we'll see where the series takes us. So then Savannah goes into her honors English class, which Jenny, Rachel, Sage, and a few other students are in. During class, Rachel texts Brooklyn, and Brooklyn's just, they're trying to think of a plan. They're trying to think of a way to kind of like ruin her a little bit. So then Rachel sprays ink on Savannah, which I guess works, but then, you know, she gets excused. Rachel offers to take Savannah to the nurse's office, but then Sage takes her instead. And even while they're walking to there, Sage even mentions, I know Rachel did that on purpose, so I'm making sure you're all good. They kind of talk a little bit. Savannah does not have a phone at all, and so she borrows Sage's phone to call her mom to pick her up. So then Savannah goes home. Her mom is like, okay, like, who's this girl? Why she spray ink on you? And Savannah's like, no, it was an accident. Her mom's like, is it really an accident? See, her mom is so smart. Like, so the next day they go to the same English class and they have to do a partner project. And so Savannah asks Sage to be her partner and he says yes. So they partner up. The whole project is you have to write poems and have each other read it, which like this is like such a little rom-com. I love it. So then they realize that they're not going to finish the project on time, so then Savannah invites Sage over to her place, and he says yes. Mind you, he is dating Brooklyn. So then Sage goes over to Savannah's house, and you know, they're starting to get to know each other. They start working on the project, but then Sage is like, I kind of want to get to know you. So then they start getting to know each other. They spend hours just talking, goofing around. And so then Savannah's mom's like, hey, dinner's ready, Sage, you want to eat with us? He's like, of course. So then they all eat together, and Savannah's dad makes a comment about her eating in front of Sage. And so then she does eat because obviously everyone now knows that she's not eating. So then afterwards, Sage is about to leave and he's about to tell Savannah something, but then Brooklyn calls him. And it sounds kind of urgent, so he leaves. So the next day, Savannah's telling her girls, being like, oh my gosh, like, he came over, it was amazing, yada, yada, yada. And then Brooklyn knows this. Brooklyn knows that they were partners. He went to her house, which maybe I'm just, like, a terrible toxic girlfriend, but if I found out a boy went to a girl that I don't like's house, when you guys could have met anywhere public, I would be fuming. I would actually be fuming. I would not do what Brooklyn's about to do, though. She basically goes to Sage and lies to him. So what she tells Sage is that Savannah has a contagious rash and she's trying to make out with every boy on the football team. And so then Sage basically like tells Savannah to like F off. He's like, I'm not gonna work with you anymore without really saying much. And then Savannah realizes Brooklyn says that. And then Brooklyn goes up to Savannah and announces to the whole school everything. It's not even true. And even like Savannah's friends are trying to defend her, but everyone believes Brooklyn for some reason. So then Savannah runs off. Lena and Jenny are basically telling her, like, hey, you can stand up from this. Like, don't worry, you'll be fine. I bet you over, like, a few days, everyone's gonna forget about it. That doesn't happen. And everyone still remembers that she's just, like, she's not having a great time now. She kind of talks to her mom about the situation, and her mom basically tells her, Sage isn't worth your time. Show him what he's missing. So she comes to school, all confident. Just roll the clip.
Is it true you kiss any boy you can get your hands on? That's what I heard too. Oh, really? Well, does this answer your question? Is it true that you're actually a hippopotamus? Honey, you got that one wrong. I'm a rhinoceros.
Like, this girl, I love cheesy high school this. Oh my god. At lunch, she's trying to eat, but obviously, like, because of her eating disorder, she kind of gets sick anytime she has to eat, so she runs off. And then we meet Tom. Now, Tom is probably the best guy in this whole series. Everything he does, except there are some parts where I do not agree with, I love him. I love Tom. If I had a boyfriend, I would want them to be like Tom. Basically, they bump into each other. Savannah introduces herself, and Tom's even like, hey, since you first got here, I had my eyes on you. And she's like, ooh, new potential. Apparently, Tom gets transferred into their English class, so her not having a partner in the English project, like, doesn't matter, because now she could just partner up with Tom and work on it. And then slowly we start getting a montage. We're starting to see Savannah getting a little bit more popular than Brooklyn. She's starting to not have her flame anymore. We also meet this guy named Nate, and he reappears in the series, but he's basically Rachel's situationship. I feel like I need to add him on here because he does play a huge plot point in some areas. So then Savannah is coming to school wearing like certain outfits and everyone else copies her basically. It's like that scene in Mean Girls where like Regina George is like wearing that shirt that looked ridiculous at first, but then everyone wears it because it's like the trendsetter. That's basically it. Savannah and Jenny are having like the time of their lives being popular, you know, boys giving them attention, girls giving them attention, all that. But as Savannah and Jenny are enjoying this popular stuff, they're starting to leave out Lena, because Lena's kind of focused on school. Like, she's fine being popular, but like they're very much into like boys and stuff, and she's like not really into that. And so then Savannah and Tom are starting to become a thing, you know, they're starting to hang out, like, you know, whatever. And then one day at lunch, Tom invites Savannah to the football table. So then during lunch, Tom clears off the football table, puts Savannah on top of the table, and announces to the whole school, basically being like, will you be my girlfriend in front of everyone? She says yes. Everyone's like, oh, that's so cute, because apparently like everyone's lives revolve around them. Brooklyn sees this and notices like, oh my gosh, she's getting so much more popular than me. So then she gets on her own table, drags Sage on, and starts profusely making out with him. But then they fall into a tray of chocolate, like foods and desserts, and make a huge mess of themselves. Everyone laughs at them. Brooklyn is at the bottom now. She is no longer the popular girl. Savannah, Reed, and Jenny are basically the queen bees now. Justice to my girl Lena. She needs to get involved. Like, the next day, Brooklyn, Alicia, and Rachel skip school and go to a local cafe, and they basically kind of talk about like what's their game plan now. Brooklyn thinks of this idea. It's gonna be her and Sage's 3-year anniversary soon, and she wants to gain her popularity back. So she's gonna throw a major party. She's gonna throw a rager at her mansion because her mom's not gonna be home. So the next day, she announces to the whole school the party of the century, which is the best arc in cinematic history. She announces that everyone's invited, it's a costume party, and everyone includes them too. And they better come, because she has a plan for Savannah. She wants to kind of ruin Savannah, basically. She's like, Savannah is trying to take everything away from me. First is my popularity. She tried taking my boyfriend. And so then she's like, okay, Operation Fry the Sausage. So then Savannah talks to her friends, being like, oh my gosh, we're totally going to that party. And then later on, she sees Brooklyn talking to Tom. And she asks Tom, what are you guys talking about? Tom's like, oh, just some homework questions. We see everyone slowly starting to prepare, and they ditch schools. Savannah and Jenny kind of talk to Lena because they notice that Lena's getting left out a lot, and they're like, hey, this popularity is kind of getting to our heads. We miss you. And so they all kind of make up. And so they ditch school the next day to like get ready and give them a glow up for the party of the century. And then Brooklyn's on the phone with someone basically being like, you ready for phase 1 of the plan, Operation Fry the Sausage? And guess who's on the other side of the phone? Tom is involved with Brooklyn's plan to ruin Savannah, and we don't know what it is yet. So it's officially the day of the party of the century. And so then Brooklyn, Alicia, and Rachel are getting their little ingredients ready because basically they got fur dye, hair removal cream, and rotten eggs to pour on Savannah. Rachel is kind of like, hey, I think we're going a little bit too far because this is like permanent. It's not like the ink, like it's not just washable. Like this is very permanent. And Brooklyn's like, I do not care. So they hide it in a closet and then get the party started. Everyone comes in, everyone's having a great time, you know, like everyone's dancing, drinking punch, which I'm almost done with my drink, so cheers. Brooklyn's main goal is to find not only Sage, but Tom and Savannah. And so she talks to these two guys at the party that are like in charge on who's going to be there. And so Brooklyn talks to them and they're like, oh yeah, Sage and Tom are already here. And she's like, what? Like, you guys aren't telling me. Terrible people to hire as security, mind you. Brooklyn bumps into Sage, and Sage is kind of like not feeling Brooklyn. As Brooklyn and Sage are kind of like making out and like trying to have fun, Sage sees someone at the door. Everyone stops, the music stops. Guess who comes walking in? Savannah and Jenny and Lena have new makeovers. What? I'm sorry, I liked their looks before. Like, yeah, they're cute blonde, but like Lena was a cute little furry cat. Like, why do we have to get rid of that? So then Savannah meets up with Tom, and you know, everyone's having a great old time. You know, everyone's dancing, everyone's loving the music, there's confetti, people are drinking, it's a great time. So then as they're dancing, Tom sees Brooklyn signal him to go upstairs with her. And he's like, hey, I'll be right back, I'm gonna get some punch. So he's lying to Savannah. I know I said earlier Tom's the best guy in this whole series, but like, to be honest, he still is. I don't agree what he does in this arc. This is probably his worst character development. So then Savannah notices that like Tom's been gone for a while, so she goes to the punch bowl. No one's there. Basically, she asks around. And originally the plan was for Rachel and Alicia to tell Savannah to go upstairs, but then she just ended up going upstairs by herself because she was just looking for Tom. And so then she goes up, she hears Brooklyn and Tom talking, and guess what happens? I would go crazy on Tom. If I saw my boyfriend do this, like, I would go crazy. So then she runs off, and then also, side note, after this happens, Rachel goes to find Nate because that's like her situationship. Nate is making out with Jenny. So Rachel's already heartbroken, right? Because like, damn, that was her situationship and now he's gone. Been there, done that, girl. After Brooklyn basically makes Tom cheat, she's like cleaning herself up. And then she bumps into this girl named Megan. We don't know Megan. And Brooklyn's just automatically super mean and rude to her. And she's like, what are you doing in my house? And Megan's like, well, you said everyone's invited. And Brooklyn's like, well, that didn't include you. And Megan's like, I was actually looking for you. I want to talk. And so basically they have some unresolved beef. All we know is that it involves some guy named Carter, like in the 8th grade. Brooklyn basically cusses Megan out to the point where she's crying and runs off. Sage sees this. Now, mind you, this is the first time Sage has actually seen Brooklyn be mean. He's heard the rumors, you know, but he's never actually seen her be genuinely mean. So then he confronts her being like, what? Like, I heard those rumors were true. I didn't believe them, but like, why were you like that? And she was like, well, she was like mean to me. And Sage is like, no, I saw the whole thing. She wasn't. He's like, I'm gonna leave. And she's like, what? You're seriously leaving the party of the century on our 3rd year anniversary? And he's like, yeah, I am. And she's like, fine, there'll be other boys wanting me anyway. Like, what the So Sage is about to leave, but then he bumps into Savannah crying. And basically he's like, do you want to talk about it? And she's like, yeah. And so then he takes her to like a random closet in Brooke's house. As they're talking, Brooklyn goes up to Alicia and Rachel. Alicia is drunk. Like, she is like not there. But Brooklyn's like, oh my gosh, like Savannah saw everything. Let's do the next phase of the plan. Good job. And Rachel's like, we didn't send her over. And Brooklyn's like, well, why didn't you? That was part of the plan. And so Rachel's like, you know what? I don't want to be part of the plan. So then they start bickering and arguing. She's like, you're not gonna be part of us, you're not gonna sit with us, just give me back all my clothes. Actually, scratch that because you stretched them all out. And then she mentions how Nate basically cheated on Rachel with Jenny, which is like wild. As this is happening, Savannah and Sage kind of talk about what they both saw. Savannah tells Sage that Tom cheated on her with Brooklyn. Sage believes her because he saw Brooklyn be very mean to Megan. Brooklyn takes Alicia with her up to the closet to do the next phase of the plan while Rachel literally runs off. And so then Tom is like looking around for Savannah, being like, oh my god, like she probably saw everything, you know, whatever. Sage and Savannah kind of have a moment. And then Sage is like, you know what, Savannah? I like you. And they start making out. Little do they know the closet that they're in is what the closet they're going to be going to. So then Brooklyn sees Sage making out with Savannah and all hell breaks loose. She literally attacks Savannah, claws her, and she's like bleeding out. And then everyone starts arguing. Tom is there, and they all four of them are just arguing with each other with everything that happened. And then Alicia, for some reason, sobers up and is like, Savannah,
I'm showing no results.
Alicia, like, she's that type of girl that you think is like super duper dumb, but in moments like this, she is like the most mature and smart one. So then Rachel's like, okay, Tom, you go first. So we get some backstory. Basically, Tom, back like a year or two ago, had a huge crush on Brooklyn, but he didn't know how to get Brooklyn. So he knew that Brooklyn hated Megan. No one really knows why. So he paid Megan to be his girlfriend so that Brooklyn would get jealous and make Tom cheat on Megan. It's weird. But this was during a time where Brooklyn and Sage would have breaks, which would happen a lot. So then, you know, if a year goes by, him and Savannah meet, and then Brooklyn basically threatens him with a video they recorded of them making out, which, like, let's be for real, there's probably more than just making out in that video for it to be blackmail. She's basically like, Tom, do as I say or else I'll show Savannah and make her think that you're cheating on her. He did everything she said, including the making out part. Even after Savannah caught them, Tom was like, was that Savannah? And Brooklyn's like, yeah. And he's like, no, like, I'm done. Like, the whole point was to have her stay with me, and now she's not going to stay with me. So then he runs off. And basically, Rachel comes in and exposes the whole plan, and literally all three of them are like in shock. Sage is actually in actual shock because he thought this was like a sweet, innocent girl that just like people didn't like for no reason. Now he knows why people don't like her. Crazy. Sage and Savannah leave together, and then Tom leaves. They leave, and Brooklyn's just like distraught. She's like, oh my god, I just lost my boyfriend over this crap. So then they're about to leave the party, but then the DJ is like, hey, 3-year anniversary for Sage and Brooklyn. Let's hit it. And so then Sage and Savannah slow dance and Brooklyn sees this. So Brooklyn pulls the plug at the party and literally yells at everyone to get out. Everyone has seen her distraught. She is a wreck. She is done. That's the ending of season 1. Now, before we continue into season 2, I just want to give a sum up of where everyone kind of ended up in season 1. And so basically, Sage and Brooklyn broke up. Savannah and Tom broke up. Sage and Savannah are possibly an item now. Rachel is basically having a situationship with Nate now. Lena, she kind of had a thing with a guy there, but like, let's be for real, she's not really going to do much into it. Rachel's out of the group. Alicia's still friends with Brooklyn. That sums up where everyone is at the end of season 1. Now, season 2. Now, at the beginning of season 2, we see Sage and Savannah in like a restaurant after going to the ER. And so basically she got stitches because of how bad her cuts were from Brooklyn, and they're just talking about their night. Sage orders food while Savannah was in the bathroom, and Savannah's like, I'm not hungry, but like Sage is like, oh my god, are you trying to starve yourself? Don't starve yourself, you're so sexy. So then Savannah's starting to eat because now like a guy has told her like, oh, she's fine, so she just needed that male validation. So then Sage takes Savannah home, and it's super late, and Savannah's like, what happened? Why are you cut up? Where's Jenny and Lena? Who is he? I mean, she knows who he is, but like, you know, she's like, you weren't supposed to come home with him, like what? And so then Savannah lies to her mom basically like, I fell down some stairs, because she just like doesn't want to tell the truth, which is like, I don't know why, but anyways. So then after that day, Savannah and Sage have been dating for 2 weeks now. Sometimes they skip school to go on little dates, and everything seems perfect, you know, like she has her best friend, she has her boyfriend, everything's good. We also know Sage talking to this girl right here. And so Savannah introduces herself to her, and basically she's like, "Oh, are you new here?" And she introduces herself as Brigitte. She is from France, or from France. Sorry, I'm so American. She's from France, and she's going to school here, and she's living with Sage. Families are basically best friends, so they're basically like cousins, not by blood. But one thing Brigitte does that does make Savannah uncomfortable is that she does kiss Sage on the cheek and also herself on the cheek. And obviously in France, it's like they're greeting, but Savannah's like, okay, whatever. We also got a new little like setup for the school. Like, we're starting to notice season 2 has a much higher production, and like, I love it. Like, literally the camera quality is beautiful in season 2. We noticed that Brooklyn hasn't been in school in 2 weeks since the party. And basically we realized that Brooklyn, she's going through it. She is basically going through a depressive episode. She barely gets out of bed. She's just watching movies all day, and like the school has basically been calling her house being like, "Hey, Brooklyn hasn't been in school in 2 weeks. We're getting worried. What's up?" And Brooklyn just ignores the calls. She's extremely, extremely depressed because not only did she lose everything, but she lost her boyfriend. Even though she did cheat, even though she was mean, even though she did lie to him, somehow, like in her heart, she loved Sage. She loves him. We also see her home life is very broken. Her dad is no longer in the picture, but her mom, the only person in the picture, is always on a work conference. She's always out of town. She's always working. And anytime her mom basically tries to talk to Brooklyn and Brooklyn tries to express to her how she's feeling, her mom's like, "Oop, gotta take this call. Okay, here's my card. Go buy whatever." So we're noticing that Brooklyn, she's mean, but we're seeing where that influence comes from a broken family. Sage posted on Facebook. She sees that he posted him and Savannah kissing in a photo. She flips out. I would too. I would absolutely go crazy. See, this episode makes me kind of want to be on Team Brooklyn, but then I realize like what she does, and I'm like, she goes crazy. She breaks everything. She also hurts her pet cricket while she's breaking everything. Now, crickets in this universe are treated like dogs and cats, but that's not a cricket. That's an LPS caterpillar, but we're just gonna call it a cricket for the sake of this show. So then Brooklyn is basically like, okay, yeah, no, this ain't gonna slide. So then a few days go by. Savannah sees that someone left a note on her locker. Very suspicious. Her friends think it was probably Brigitte. There's just been some signs that like Brigitte and Sage are a little too close, and it's starting to make Savannah uncomfortable. Now you're probably wondering, well, where's Tom? After everything, he fled the country and moved to France. He is in France right now. Another character added to the wall, guys. This is insane. So basically, Sage is like an exchange student in France, and there's this one French girl, eyeing him, and so she tries talking to him in French. He's like, "I don't know French," which it's like, if you're gonna go to another country, how are you gonna not learn the language? Whatever. Us Americans, am I right? So luckily she speaks English, so they start talking, and he basically tells her everything that happened and why he's in the country, like in France now. And she's basically like, "Well, I'll be your friend. I'll help you ignore her." She wants that American telling you that right now. The vodka show is actually getting to me now. So yeah, he finally made a friend in France. Oh, many characters. So basically, Brooklyn comes back to school. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, where you been?" or whatever, and she like lies, basically being like she was on like a self-care retreat in Thailand, like some random crap. And then she basically introduces her model boyfriend Malcolm, which like I don't even think he goes to the school. Like, why is he here? Get him out. During lunch, Savannah pulls Sage aside and shows him the note that she's found on her locker. Sage is convinced Brooklyn wrote it, and Savannah's like, "You know what? I think it was Brigitte." And Sage is like, "Brigitte has a boyfriend. Like, she wouldn't do that." And she's like, "Oh." And then Brooklyn comes in. Brooklyn basically returns Sage his jacket, and then they start bickering a little bit. And then even Savannah confronts Brooklyn, being like, "I saw the note you left." And Brooklyn's like, "I didn't leave no note. Don't be so obsessive over me." Oh my god, the drama. Oh, by the way, I want to mention Alicia is still friends with Brooklyn. Even when she comes back, she's still in her squad. Rachel's like in her own little like popular squad. They're kind of irrelevant for the first few episodes. So one day, Savannah's like roller skating like outside, and then she finds Gigi, Brooklyn's cricket, but she's all like damaged and cut up because basically after Brooklyn had that rampage and Gigi felt like she was being mistreated, she ran off. And so then Savannah finds Gigi and renames her Mimi and is basically like, I'm gonna take care of you. But she doesn't know that's Brooklyn's cricket. She doesn't know that. Like Mimi imprints on Savannah. Like Mimi loves Savannah. And so then when Savannah goes to school one day, her mom is basically like, hey, that cricket is so loud, won't stop crying. I tried everything. And so then Savannah decides to bring the cricket to school. So Savannah decides to bring Mimi to school one day. But before that, sorry, there's so many plot points. Before that, Savannah went over to Sage's house to go like talk to him and like hang out. And then she sees Sage like hugging Brigitte and she's like, what? And basically Brigitte's boyfriend broke up with her over the phone, and then like Sage was comforting her. Savannah's trying to be like a chill girlfriend, but like deep down she thinks something's up. One day, Savannah brings Mimi to school, right? She's showing everyone. Guess who sees Mimi? Brooklyn. She sees her with Savannah. Brooklyn rampages. She goes crazy because she doesn't know. Like, she knew that Mimi was like gone and was missing, and she was really worried about her. But that Savannah has her. She's convinced Savannah kidnapped Mimi. So then Brooklyn tries to take her back. Savannah and Brooklyn have a little argument. Mimi chooses Savannah over Brooklyn. And so then Savannah's like, okay, I'm taking you home. This isn't safe. So then as she's in like an empty hallway, Brooklyn comes up behind Savannah and claws her, like literally like digs her claws into her back. And so then Savannah's instinct is to bite Brooklyn, and she does. She bites Brooklyn. They start like fighting, like having a brawl, and then Savannah throws Brooklyn against the lockers to the point where Brooklyn's in a pile of blood. And she runs off and literally is yelling for help. Guys, this series got dark real quick. Basically what happened after Brooklyn's taken to the hospital, Savannah gets suspended, and her mom is basically like, hey, why'd you do that? And she's like, I was defending myself. And even they're like, hey, Brooklyn's mom is threatening to press charges. So her mom's basically like, you have to give the cricket back. And she's like, no, like, the cricket loves me, Mimi loves me. And the mom is like, I don't care, like, they're gonna press charges if you don't. And then Savannah visits Brooklyn in the hospitals. Brooklyn convinced her mom that like she's like basically like very delusional, but like she's not. She's in a lot of pain, don't get me wrong, but she like remembers everything. Savannah returns the cricket to Brooklyn, and basically Brooklyn's like, I'm still gonna press charges if you don't do what I say. For some reason, Rachel decides to be friends with Brooklyn again. I don't know why. The Barbie girls reunite. So while Savannah's suspended, a lot of things happen. Lena and Jenny try to call Savannah, but like Savannah's basically grounded by her mom. And so then Jenny one day goes over to Nate's house while she was trying to have some girl time with Lena, but then she basically ditches her. And Lena's like, dude, we were supposed to have a girls' night. And Jenny's like, it's fine, I'm just visiting my boyfriend. So she goes to Nate's, and Nate tries to do more than just kissing and making out with her. And Jenny's like, I'm a little uncomfortable right now, I don't want this. And he kind of like keeps pushing it like a lot, and she's like, no, I don't want to do more than just making out. And he basically like kicks her out and like breaks up with her because she doesn't want to sleep with him. Like, so then Jenny calls Lena about this whole thing, and Lena's like, hey, I told you so. And Jenny's like, why aren't you being a supportive friend? And Lena's like, I would be, but I told you, like, Nate is not a good guy. Like, he cheated on Rachel with you. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? So then they get into a fight, they're no longer friends, and Savannah doesn't even know like her two best friends are basically breaking up. In France, Tom is still super obsessed with Savannah. He's always checking the social media, seeing that they're posting together. He even goes to this really sick, like, French club, and his girlfriend's basically like, dude, am I your girl or not? Like, you are so obsessed with the Savannah girl or whatever. And he's basically like, you know what? Her, you're mine. And then, like, they make out and, like, make up, whatever. Also, side note, these two collies joined the series. I cannot remember their names on the top of my head, so I'll put them somewhere on the screen. But they joined the series, and it's kind of obvious that they don't have parents, and they're kind of hiding from something, but we don't know anything yet. It's very suspicious. One day, Savannah goes to see Sage. Sage and Brigitte are like a little too close, and Savannah basically confronts Sage, being like, hey, one, you're getting too close with her, and two, like, where were you when I was literally getting beat up by your ex-girlfriend? And then Sage calls her a biatch. If my man called me a biatch or a actually, that has happened multiple times, but I wouldn't allow it now. No, And Brigitte feels really bad. So then one day, Brooklyn shows up to Savannah's house with Mimi. basically is like, I'm gonna threaten like thousands of dollars from you. And Savannah's like, you know, my family can afford that. Is there anything else I could do? And Brooklyn's like, I'll drop the charges when you break up with Sage. So that's what Savannah does. Savannah breaks up with Sage. She can't tell him why she's breaking up with him. So then Sage thinks that it's Brigitte's fault. So he basically like yells at Brigitte, being like, you're the reason why my girlfriend broke up with me. And Brigitte is like, mind you, I didn't even like you like that. Like, she literally calls out Sage. Like, Sage was being the weird one the whole time, because let's be for real, Sage wasn't 100% loyal when he was with Brooklyn. Why would he be 100% loyal with Savannah? These hoes ain't loyal. Savannah's about to go to school soon. Like, her suspension's almost lifted. And she calls Lena, and Lena's basically like, it's gonna be rough going to school because everyone thinks you tried to kill Brooklyn. And so Savannah's like, yeah, I know. I'm prepared for that. And then we find out, I guess, like, this colleague got into a fight, and so she got suspended. And then Rachel kind of told Brooklyn about them. So Brooklyn's like, okay, well, find out more information about them since I'm not there. So throughout the series, like, some random anonymous calls calling Savannah, and we don't know who it is yet. And even this random phone number is like spamming Tom too, saying that's Savannah, and so she sees it. So basically, she blocks Savannah from Tom's phone. Honestly, I would too. And that's the last scene in the series. There is no more. The last episode of this series came out before COVID. It is 2025 now. So there's a reason why the series hasn't continued. The creator Sophie mentioned that she was in a really bad car accident, and because of that, she wasn't physically able to make episodes. But then once she recovered, she made like 1 or 2 episodes. Like, there's so many plot points that we're just never ever gonna find out. Like, who are they really? Who's randomly calling Savannah? What's the next Operation Fry the Sausage? What's gonna happen between them? What's gonna happen between them? What's gonna happen between them? Like, we don't know what's gonna happen now. And I'm sorry to leave you guys on a cliffhanger, but that's just how it is.
So when I originally recorded this video, there wasn't really any updates whether or not the series would continue, so I just assumed not. But when I was getting clips for this video, I did find this comment, and it looks like there will be a finale sooner or later. Don't know when. I don't think Sophie knows when. There hasn't really been any other updates, but it does look like there will be an ending to this series. So yay! Probably when the episodes come out, I would love to make a video about it, so stay tuned for that.
But besides that, thank you for watching. I really enjoyed making this video. It's really fun, like, looking back at something that I used to watch as a kid, even though low-key there were some graphic stuff that I don't think I should have seen at like 10 years old, but like, whatever. If you want to see more videos like this and me recapping stuff, you know, let me know. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I hope I can see you in the next video. Bye!